Continuing our story, we are at the now burnt Arctic facility of Cemetery Wind, the last of Cemetery Wind, I should say, by the way. And we actually see Jazz walking over to an injured Harold Attinger. You see, this is something Jazz has been waiting to do for a long time. And as he approaches him, Attinger gives him a whole speech about how this proves that he was right, that the Cybertronian race was dangerous. However, Jazz retorts with the same people that, stood up for you, the same people who fought bravely and valiantly for you, despite the fact that they gave them multiple warnings that the Decepticons were never going to leave their planet alone. And Attinger is furious by this. And as Jazz shows him how he's been labeled a terrorist after the whole Quintessa incident, Attinger pulls out a gun and tries to shoot him, but Jazz actually activates his crescent cannon and blasts him like it's absolutely nothing, killing Attinger in the process. He actually just looks at his body for a minute, almost as if he's disappointed that he couldn't change him, that he was so far gone in hatred. However, Yuri interrupts him by actually throwing the Allspark fragment at him, and he catches it, thanking her in the process. And she actually tells him what are they going to do with it. And Jazz says it's very simple. They're going to take it to Unicron's spark, and they're going to drop it in. It'll simply absorb his spark, absorb the energy within him, and then it'll permanently get rid of him. However, Jury says, would that destroy the Earth? And after some consideration, Jazz simply says no, because it's draining the energy out of Unicron. Unicron himself is the Earth's core. However, Ben doesn't want to take this, as a what if, or can this really happen? And actually tells Jazz, give it to him and they can run a thorough analysis back at base. Jazz, however, is not going with it and says that this is a Cybertronian problem and that he should be able to handle it. But Ben tells him they were in this together. They made a deal. They were partners. In which Jazz says yes, he honors the fact that Ben helped him. However, this situation is far more different. This could mean the end of everything as they know it. Everything that he loves could be gone in this instance. Please just step aside and let him handle it. Ben readies his Omnitrix, telling Jazz that he can't do that, not when they have a chance to possibly mess this up. And Jazz simply tells him, don't do it. He then throws the Allspark shard to Jury and actually prepares himself in a battle stance. Ben and him circle each other as Jury kind of just, giggles in the background, actually kind of excited to see these two fight. And Ben just says the Allspark is not some toy, to which Jazz says he knows. He has way more experience with anything Cybertronian than Ben will ever have. To which Jury says, enough talking, just get to the simple fight. And Ben says, Ben actually agrees with her. What, let's stop this nonsense, let's go. Now, Ben rushes at him, and this fight is actually pretty good. I would actually say it's pretty close here. Now you might say, well, why is it close here? Now you got to remember that IDW Transformers are high outer, and I can consider 5 years later Ben, or pretty much most. Yeah, I've seen Outerversal stuff for Ben 10 too, and I can agree with it. I can, especially with Alien X existing above the multiverse and being one of the strongest aliens out there, and with them having much stronger aliens. This is actually a pretty close fight. Ben starts off by using Monkai, credit to Cure the Artist, and actually starts going hand-to-hand, even turning into his Super Saiyan form. However, as he launches an energy blast, Jazz counters with Water Pulse, simply using it to counteract the blast, as he's able to simply manhandle Ben physically, or handle Monkai physically. Ben then goes into Poltar and shoots a portal blast at him, trying to BFR him. This is when Jazz actually uses his electricity to perform a counter shield, not only blocking Ben's attack, but pushing it out further and further until Ben gets a nasty, and I mean a nasty, electric shock that actually just rings through his body. It's counteracting Poltar's, energy, his portal energy here, and he's simply just wrecking him. Then you have Sonarith, who is a mana manipulator. Yeah, actually, yeah, go and look up, give 5 years later, or the ink tank a follow. Give him a follow or a subscribe. You guys get what I mean. However, as Sonarith activates his attack here, he gets hit with a nice, clean ice punch from Jazz, who shatters his defenses, sending him flying. However, he uses that to open a barrage of mana missiles upon him, using the shards to just pelt him and just, cause severe damage. However, Jazz activates Blizzard to just counteract it, causing a huge explosion between the two. This is where we see Ben just kind of get desperate. He's using every alien he has, except for the one he could use to end it. And this is where Jazz decides to fully go on the defensive before he gets the idea to use Alien X. He activates Wild Charge and slams into Ben, causing a massive amount of static damage, or paralysis damage, right? He then goes to pretty much just dog walk Ben at that point. Thunder Punch, Brick Break, Ice Punch, Water Pulse, Scald. He hits him with everything he has, and then he decides to paralyze him even further by using Thunder Wave, which is probably one of the most overpowered paralysis moves in Pokemon of all time. And then he unleashes Aqua Javelin, which pretty much ends the fight right then and there. There's nothing Ben could do at that point. Ben is just down, defeated. And he says maybe he should have used, Alien X in this situation. To which Jazz promptly says, yeah, you probably could have won it if you used him. And this is where Jury notes that Ben, right now, he's the best chance they have. Jazz is the best chance they have. And right now, he's the only one that really knows how the Allspark could truly work. Jazz then extends his hand to Ben, telling him that they can do this together. He's still needed. They both are. And if they want to save the world, they have to work together. And as he says this, he opens a portal with the Allspark shard to Los Santos. And as they walk to Jazz's house, he does leave Ben at least on a bench nearby. Right? He leaves him on a bench here so that at least he could heal up. And Jury asks Jazz what's the plan. And Jazz notes to drop it in the Spark. Probably going to be a long trip down to the deepest and darkest depths of the ocean. However, he does think he'll make it. Jury agrees, but wonders how she can actually help him. And to which Jazz is kind of silent. He doesn't know. He doesn't know if he wants her to go. Jazz even explains this to her, that he doesn't know if she could even survive down there, or if she could even fight down there. But before Jury could make a protest about it, saying that she doesn't want to leave him, she gets a notification on her phone telling her that her championship rounds at the tournament is starting. Jazz sees this and tells her that this is what you've been waiting for, right? The best way to claim yourself as the greatest fighter on the planet is happening right now. And Jury at first doesn't want to go, but Jazz encourages her, telling her that he'll be back before the final round. Keeping Jazz to his word, she kisses him, goes on her motorcycle, and drives off, wishing him the best of luck. To which Jazz smiles and says he hopes he makes it back before the final round. And this is where we see him go into his Legicrus form. However, it's pulsating with Allspark energy, almost as if it's trying to change it in some way. But right now, Jazz can't worry about it. We then fast forward a few hours later, and Jury is mixing it up in the ring with the fighter named Guile. Yes, I know who Guile actually is, but again, he's a random fighter in this one. While Guile does put in work, Jury actually laughs as none of his attacks that actually landed hurt her. Her training and sparring with Jazz has actually paid off so well that she really doesn't feel the damage and proceeds to maul him. This is where we go back into the sea, where Jazz is very, very deep in the Mariana Trench, and he keeps going further. He sees a lot of things down there, such as old Decepticon remains of Decepticons like the Fallen, Tidal Wave, etc. However, he reaches the point where he hopes that Unicron's entrance is, or at least an entrance to Unicron is. But as he goes deeper and deeper, the Allspark energy within him pulsates, but he senses something trying to sneak up behind him. And just as he's about to snap at it, he sees water hazard. It's Ben. Ben actually was able to catch up with him, albeit it took him much longer than he expected. He didn't expect Legiacris to be that fast of a swimmer. So Ben actually apologized to him, saying that he's right. He is the best bet that Earth has right now. But he snaps at him, telling him to just shut up and come on. And as the two pretty much just go through and they see everything. They see Decepticon graveyards, they see everything. They even go down a pretty much this very interesting tunnel, almost Cybertronian like. Ben makes a note that this wasn't here before, was it? It seems very new, not rusty, not overly shiny either, like it was just made. However, as they go deeper and deeper, Legiagris's body begins to change, and as you guys can see here, he transforms into a very, I guess you could say, hybridized and monstrous Lugia. Much more maneuverable and much more, I guess you could say, aquatic adapted. But that's not where we're going to leave off this story here. As both Ben and Jazz go deeper and deeper, they finally make their way to the face of Unicron. And that's where we're going to leave it off here, you guys. Please comment down below, like and subscribe and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. Peace.